And we are back, and I'm going to make chicken thighs. Now this again is a very simple meal, but it's very impressive. And I did this at home last night, everything I'm about to show you, and plated within 30 minutes. Husband was thrilled, and he's especially thrilled because he figures there'll be leftovers from today, so he'll get more. Now what I'm doing, the chicken thighs, you can cook them just the way they are, but I discovered the first time I cooked them that if I didn't take some of this fat off, they were moist enough, but they were also kind of greasy, and we don't want that. So I'm gonna wash my hand real quick because I have to touch a couple things. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I've taken some butter, threw it in the pan with some, what I use, pomegranate vinegar. Get this out of here. I'm gonna just throw these in. You can do this ahead and marinate them. But, you know, we just don't always have time. So what we're going to do is season them, and they're going to go right into the pan and get browned, and then we're going to throw them in the oven. And we're going to stuff them. So I'll show you in the next segment this stuffing that I made up. It's going to sound odd to you, but it was really delicious. So I'm just going to season them up with some sea salt. And I think I've said this before, but if you don't always have time to grind pepper, when you do have time, grind some ahead and put it in a shaker. And that way it's always handy. Because you know I'm all about quick. I would say I'm all about easy, but then people would talk. All right, so I'm just going to take some brown sugar, throw it on the floor, and then put these skin side down. You could start this in a hot skillet, but you know the heat's behind me, so we're just going to start them this way and get them browning. And then we're going to make some kind of mashed potatoes. It's the way I did them last night. They were a little bit different. They weren't your typical mashed potatoes, both flavor and texture. But then when I've ever done anything typical. All right, onto this heat. We'll put it back there and let it go. It takes about 2 minutes per side, and they're done. So we'll set these aside until the pan's clear. Clean up some of my excess so I'm not dragging it all over the kitchen. We're done with these. We're done with this. All right, so I've been talking about different things that are coming up. I mentioned in our last show that the alpaca shearing is coming up. I had a Santa hat on a few minutes ago, didn't I? Or didn't I? Because it's gone. Okay. Oh, there it is. Gee, in here I thought somebody had swiped it. Okay, anyway. Maybe that's why I didn't have it on. Okay. So the alpaca shearing, we have 49 alpacas. Nancy has them next door in their barns. And we spend the day. The shearers come and they work all day for 2 days. Do the girls one day, the boys the other. And you get to see the whole process. Plus you get to see the lodge and have luncheon and such. And I'm going to start taking reservations for that in January because I have a feeling it's going to be as popular as it was last year. So that'll be a lot of fun. A lot of people come out that just wanted to see an alpaca up close. They didn't necessarily spin or weave or anything. And then some of the ladies have been showing me, either in pictures or actually bringing the things to me, that they've been creating out of this fiber. Now the fiber, the animals are a little bit older, so the fiber is different. It's not as fine as the younger fiber. But if you work with it, it's just stunning. It's beautiful, the colors and everything about it. So, I mean, I'm not a spinner or a weaver, but I love to see these. We had one gal that made an Afghan, all individual squares. And I've seen the different parts of it they take it to the roving and then they blend it with silk and such. And then they spin it and make it into yarn. And it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. And now that we have Matt and Katie here, the alpacas actually they don't completely enjoy the day, but it's a much better day for them. So watch for that on our Facebook page. I'll start getting that out in January, and I can't think of the dates, but it's May. It's the Monday and Tuesday right after Mother's Day that we'll be doing that. All right, so I'm going to watch this, turn a little bit more. And what else do we have going on? Well, New Year's Eve. I've had people asking about New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is booked up here. We're done. So unless you know somebody. But We still have some openings here in December, so depending on when this airs, we can do last minute gatherings, we can do last minute catering to, off-site to your home or whatever. So don't hesitate to give me a call. If I can't do it, I'll say I can't do it. But a lot of times things come up at the last minute, or you just want a tray of appetizers for your family gathering and you just don't have time, the inclination. Just give me a call, 248-933-4579, and we'll talk. Maybe I can do something for you. I'm not as busy as I would like to be, so I'm kind of driving my friends nuts. I showed up at Ginger's house the other day because she had a whole order in her shop that had to go out, and I went over and helped her, and it was great. And, doing gift wrapping for friends and that sort of thing. So it's just what I like to do. Okay, these are starting to brown up nicely. Yeah. Nice caramel color going. I'm going to flip them. At this point, they're just kind of picking up the vinegar and the butter and the salt, pepper, and brown sugar and such. It's when they go in the oven after they're stuffed that they really bake through. So like I said, it's just about 20 minutes on 400 and they'll be ready to go. So we're also going to do some potatoes. I didn't do a veg today. I thought, what I did last night at home instead of doing a veg, I took some of my luscious Campari tomatoes and just sliced those up fresh. And against the potato and the chicken, it's wonderful. Just wonderful. A couple little things about working with chicken, just a reminder. I took my brown sugar out of the big bag. When I'm done, this is going in the garbage because I've been handling chicken, and even though you wash your hands a lot, you want to watch for cross-contamination. This board will go directly into the sink. This will all get wiped down before I do anything else because the raw chicken can really travel. So even if you haven't touched something, which I just touched something, you want to wash your hands a lot when you're doing this. Because there's no sense in making a wonderful meal for someone and then making them not feel well because somehow the chicken got in there where it shouldn't have been. So I'm going to keep browning. When we get back, I'll have these cooled enough that I can handle them, and they'll be ready to go into the oven. So there you have it, the start of chicken thighs. And it smells really good too. They're not the prettiest cuts of meat, but they're juicy and they're tender. Isn't that beautiful? And I'll get the rest of these done up too. Believe me, nothing goes to waste. I just wanted to do a panful and get them started so I could show you what I was doing. So come on back and we'll be ready to rock and roll with phase 2 here.
Welcome to American Legion in Oxford for the best fish on Fridays. That's right, from noon to 8:30. You can get the best walleye in Michigan. You can get walleye, baked cod, chicken strips, baked potatoes, and more. On the hall side of the Legion, hello there, friends. You can have 12 friends on a table, any one of the best military museums in Michigan. And the dining side, hello again. More comfortable with many 4-seat tables and a couple of 5-seaters. Now on Friday, we usually have about 400 to 500 of best friends for our fish. Carry out? You bet. We have 50 to 60 carryouts at the post. We have some young friends with the birthdays and some of our best seniors at the post. Oh yeah, waitresses, they go like a track waitress to get your food. If you have never enjoyed our secret famous walleye at the Legion, come on in every Friday from noon to 8:30 at the American Legion Post 108 on 130 East Rainer Road, Oxford.
Hi, my name is W. Ripto. I'm a member of the Addison Township Fire Department. I'm a lieutenant here. I've been here for 13 years. Today, we're going to talk about address signs and having your driveway properly marked and making sure that when there's an emergency, we're going to get there quickly and safely to help you with your emergency. Here are some things that we need to keep in mind when you mark your driveway and or your mailbox. In some situations, you may have to mark both your mailbox and your driveway. In situations where your driveway is across the street from your mailbox, or if you have a shared driveway where multiple houses are on your driveway, or if your driveway splits off into 2 or 3 areas, wherever it splits, you might want to have an address sign marking what side to go on, whether it's left or right or straight or however you need to do it. It's going to make our job a lot easier to get to you in that state of emergency. A few other things to keep in mind is you can have your address sign vertically or you can have it displayed horizontally. We highly suggest that you mark both sides of your address so that whenever we're coming from the north or the south or the east or the west, we can see that driveway on both sides. In our engines, in our ambulances, we have our map books. And in our map books, we have very detailed oriented pictures showing exactly where the addresses are. But having that marked, your address sign marked or your driveway marked will definitely ease us in finding your address in that state of emergency. Okay. In the map book, we have all of our hydrants marked. We have all of our streets marked, and it makes it a lot easier for us to find. So that's typically the officer's job, sitting in the officer seat. He grabs the map book and verifies with the driver exactly where we're going. And we have also a blown up section showing real quick and easy how to find your address on one sheet of paper. Instead of flipping through the book, we can go through your section and find exactly where we need to go. Okay, the address signs are $15 a piece. You can call the station at 248-628-5600 and request to have one filled out, or you can come to the station and have one filled out yourself. They're $15 a piece again, and it's definitely a good thing to have for your driveway and for us if we ever need to get there. Thank you very much for your time today. Again, my name is W. Ripito with the Addison Township Fire Department. Thank you and have a good day.
All right, so I'm going to take these off. I'm going to leave that pan just the way it is. When I'm done, when I do the rest of the chicken, then I'm going to deglaze it with a little bit of red wine. And you get red wine and brown sugar and pomegranate and all the wonderful luscious things all together in a little sauce. So there's the chicken. I'm going to let that sit there and cool. That's a little hot to handle right now. So we are going to, I just touched my face. And by the way, I tossed the towels I was using. Those are in the laundry because I was doing chicken. So now I'm going to do what we're going to stuff it with. And last night, another time saver I discovered, easiest way to do this. This was the hardest part of the whole process. Oh, it worked today. Getting the container open. This is goat cheese from Provençal. It's crumbled. It's all natural. It's luscious. And when you use it in a dish like this, it is so creamy. And it's just kind of wicked. To that, I'm going to add a little bit of butter. Now, it doesn't matter if the butter blends in when we do this. The butter's there primarily for when it goes into the oven. All right, but it's not going to do me any good stuck to the sides of the bowl. There we go. And I already washed the green onions. I'm going to chop up some of these. Put those in. This was so good last night. I made what I thought was enough that I'd have leftovers, and that didn't happen. Chris said he had dinner and then he had to go out and cover an event last night, of course. And then he came back and he just kind of nibbled away on what was left until there was nothing but an empty pan. So I guess that's a sign of a successful dish. Now, using the green onion on this because they're milder, you'll get the onion flavor, but it's milder than, say, a red onion or something. And I do like to have onions and things. Set these aside for right now. Let's leave this all here for my cleanup crew. Gee. have to think of something to give the cleanup crew for a Christmas gift. What would I want if I were the cleanup crew? You have to think about that. All right, this is a red pear. Nothing fancy about it, but it added just a touch of sweetness and tang in here. When I first mentioned to Chris that there was a pear in there, he wasn't too thrilled with the idea. Then he tasted it. He said, always do it just like this. I said, okay. So I'm just going to dice it. Don't have to do too much chopping because it's going into the chopper. So let's put our little bit of pear in there. And see, I didn't peel the whole thing, so I was able to use some last night and some today without it going bad on me. Which is nice. We like to not waste. And I'm going to put in some chopped pecans. A little bit of texture there. Put that aside. Find my lid. Excuse me. Thank you. Now I'm going to wash my lid because it just hit the floor. I say things just keep rolling. I was telling my wizard earlier about a dinner party we had up here a couple weeks ago, and I had a little misfire with the main course. And the people that were helping me in the kitchen were just so worried and everything else, and I was just laughing. It took me about 3 minutes to figure out, get us back on course, and it was fabulous. Several people that were here that night have already booked for the upcoming wine dinners based on that main course. So sometimes a misfire, you just roll with it. You drop something, you wash it. You break something, you figure it out. All right, so I've got that in the chopper. Kind of what I want is I want to maintain my texture, but also have it be a stuffable consistency. We're just about there. And that's all there is to it on that. Now I'm going to find my glass dish and my chicken, which I hope is now cool enough to handle. Much like other things, I needed some toothpicks, so I pulled them out and set them here separately so I'm not handling things and then putting them back in the box. And, oh, really, smell it. This is wonderful. First of all, if you have to like goat cheese, which I do, because goat cheese is mild and kind of nutty, and I can just eat it with a spoon. But it's also really great for stuff like this because you can blend so many different types of flavor into it, which we just did. We've got the savory of the onion, we've got the sweetness from the pear, and it all kind of blends together. I didn't put any seasoning in there, I don't need to. I seasoned the meat as it was browning. So now we're going to take, what's the best way to do this? There we go. And take a piece of the chicken, lay it down, and I just kind of look to see if there's any pockets or crevices. Get my toothpicks handy because my hands are going to start to get messy here now. I'm going to lay some of this, excuse me, this wonderful filling right in here. Now, here's a little tip. When you're preparing a lot, and sometimes like for dinner up here, I may have to do 30 or 40 of these, keep track and be consistent with your use of toothpicks. If you have one that has one and two that have three, and you're going to leave some in and somebody's going to be served a toothpick. Because these toothpicks come out right before you serve them. So I'm just putting, these are good size, I'm just putting one in each to hold them. And then these are going to go into the oven. Oh, they smell, hey, that was unacceptable. Okay, okay, okay. And don't worry about the leftovers here because I am going to cook up the rest of the chicken and such. Because as I said, that's dinner tonight. See, this one I'm going to watch because it's a little bit thicker. I guess with chicken thighs you can pound them out before you use them. I haven't done that yet. But then it would become more like a cutlet, and I kind of like the integrity of it is the way it is here. So there you go. We got our goat cheese, pear, green onion, pecan stuffing. That's going to go in the oven, which I already preheated for 20 minutes. And it's done. And we will have dinner. Of course, I'll make the potatoes too. All right, so this is going in. Cook, cook. Kitchen timer. And I'll get this cleaned up, and when you come back, we'll do some potatoes and maybe talk a little bit about dessert. So, come on back. Hi, I'm Connie from Connie's Kitchen here at Treetop Lodge. Come up and join me for a relaxing afternoon or an evening or a weekend. This is one of my favorite places to come when the lodge is quiet. I'm down in the gathering room. I've got the woods behind me. The deer will be coming in soon. It's just a very peaceful place to spend a little time with my friend Alistair. So join me here at the lodge, join me on OCTV, and let's have some fun together and relax. Regardless of the weather, we're always here. See you soon.
Welcome to American Legion in Oxford for the best fish on Fridays. That's right, from noon to 8:30. You can get the best walleye in Michigan. You can get walleye, baked cod, chicken strips, baked potatoes, and more. On the hall side of the Legion, oh, hello there, friends. You can have 12 friends on a table, any one of the best military museums in Michigan. And the dining side, oh, hello again. More comfortable with many 4-seat tables and a couple of 5-seaters. Now on Friday, we usually have about 400 to 500 of best friends for our fish. Carry out? You bet. We have 50 to 60 carryouts at the post. We have some young friends with the birthdays and some of our best seniors at the post. Oh yeah, waitresses, they go like a track waitress to get your food. If you have never enjoyed our secret's famous walleye at the Legion, come on in every Friday from noon to 8:30 at the American Legion Post 108 on 130 East Rainer Road, Oxford.
And we're back. We're going to finish up dinner, but I wanted to show you something real quick. When my cousin Leanne came down recently to visit from Canada, I might have told you this already, but we got together for the first time in over 30 years, and she brought me a picture of my mom that was taken shortly before she left Canada for the States. So you know how I love pictures up here. And then Larissa the other day gave me these. This is my Daisy, and this is Larissa's kitties, Presley and Minion. And they're going to go on the fridge. Mom's going to stay in the kitchen here with me, because I just love that. That's a cool keepsake. And I don't have many pictures, so thank you, Leanne. All right, I'm going to make some kind of mashed potatoes. I'm going to kind of break them up some. This isn't going to be a true mash. It's not going to be a creamy mash. What I'm going to do is break them up some, blend in just a wee bit of sour cream, and then some of the cheese filling that we used on our chicken, I'm going to throw in the potatoes. So, like I said, I don't want these to be really creamy, just creamy enough. We all know how much I love sour cream. And I don't think I need any half and half. I'm just going to push this sour cream through a bit and then add some of this cheese mixture. So when I plate it, I'll put the potatoes down, put the chicken on, and then a little bit of the, I just deglazed the pan while you were gone. The pan was left kind of sticky, gooey because of the brown sugar. So I just threw some red wine in there, heated it up, let the red wine liquefy everything again, and that'll just be a little drizzle right at the very end. Ooh, we are almost ready to pull the chicken out. So we have our potatoes. So one thing about this masher, seems like most of the potatoes end up on the masher or on the floor. All right. Clear the decks here a little bit so I can bring the chicken out. And I should have something on here for it. Oh, look, I spilled sour cream on the floor. Oh, well, stuff happens. There we go. Now I'm set up. And just before the end, and don't let me forget, I want to slice up some of that fresh tomato. Oh, do these look pretty. One of them opened up a little bit, but that's all right. Look at that, look at that. Now, we're going to do our potatoes first. And we've discussed this before. You know how I love my potatoes. Good Irish girl that I am. We're going to take this, nestle it right on top, and I'm going to pull the toothpick out before I serve it. See how it holds together nice? Okay. Because this is so hot, and I don't want to like lean against it, I'm just going to set it back here for a moment. I'm going to take a little bit of this. It's just the pan that I browned the chicken in, so it had some of the residual brown sugar and pomegranate. And I just a little bit of red wine to deglaze, and look at that. Then you have a juice. So I suppose, while we're talking, I'm finishing up here, I should do my little spiel so you know how to find me. This is Connie Miller from Treetop Lodge here on OCTV. You can call me at 248-933-4579. You can reach me on our Facebook page, which is updated daily. That's Treetop Lodge, Oxford. You can email me at stormy3958@att.net. Or you can give me a call and say, I'd like to see the lodge. I haven't been there yet. I know there's got to be 1 or 2 people in Oxford that haven't been here yet. So, there we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to do something that I don't often do on camera here. And I'm going to take a little taste. The reason I don't do this often is not because I don't like my own cooking. It's because I've had a lot of oral surgery the last couple of years, so I'm not always into chewing. Oh, that is tender and juicy, and the cheese. So I think I'm just going to keep eating. Mashed potatoes. Yum. Try this at home. Honestly, you saw less than 30 minutes. If you want to add the marinating phase, go ahead. You know, but maybe easier for you to throw it in the marinate the night before so you can cook it when you come home the next day. That works too. Oh, this is so good. All right, so there you have it. Didn't have time to do dessert, but what I would suggest after this, vanilla ice cream, maybe an oatmeal brown sugar crumble on top, and that would just finish it off perfectly. Perhaps a glass of red wine. And again, you've got another quick and inexpensive dinner. Chicken thighs, they come in a package, the way I've found them, 12 to 14 per package. Seems to be about $12 a package. So it is an inexpensive meal. And well worth it. You can do a lot of different things with it. I've done this before where I've stuffed them with spinach mixtures and different things. So I'm going to keep playing with them because I think they really lend themselves to my kind of experimentation. So give me a call. Come on up and visit. In the meantime, if you find my Santa hat, let me know because it's disappeared again. I have no idea where it is. And this time it didn't fly in. So I'm going to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year. And I hope the New Year brings us together up here at the lodge. Because, as I've said before, I love to share it, and I'd love to share it with you. So come up and join me soon. In the meantime, I'm going to have some lunch.